All right. Hey, good morning, everybody. Where is my music at? Mm, There it is.
It's time for you to dream.
It's time for you to dream. Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome. We're going to do a little teaser for the workshop coming up this Saturday at 2:30 in the afternoon, uh, 27th. So it's on your story. It's called The Profit in Your Story. The reason people aren't doing business with you is because they don't know your story, right? We say that phrase all the time. People do business with people they know, they like, they trust. And the challenge is that we aren't really having people who know us, who like us, who trust us. So we're going to have a little conversation about that. We're going to dive into that. I'm going to do a little presentation here as soon as I can find where the link went. How's everybody doing this morning? We've been talking in the Napoleon Hill about persistence and keeping yourself plugged in and keeping yourself tuned in. Okay, so there we go. And if I do that, oh, spotlight, that's what I want. There we go. All right, so there we are. Awesome. It's working now. Okay, so let me share a screen. Share screen. I think that's it. The power of building a business. There you go. Okay. All right. So the power of building your personal story. Let me see if I move that over here so that I can be looking at you in the camera. And then authenticity. So I'm not going to go into detail in this right now because I'm going to do it in the 90-minute session that we do. I'm just kind of giving you a teaser, right? Not perfection. The most powerful tool is inspiration, and your story has inspiration behind it. If you want to get started, you can go to SeanGMurphy.com/your story. You can see there, you'll sign up, enroll. There'll be some information that comes to you, some additional content that comes to you only through email. And yeah, you'll get the Zoom link as well. So, invisible struggle, why we doubt our stories. We have powerful stories, but we doubt them. It keeps them untold, depriving both ourselves and the others with the transformative power. See, when you know your story, it's a story that transforms you. It's not logic. It's not logic. It's not information. You have all the information you need to get started. The thing that's keeping you from moving forward is the transformation of your story to yourself. We deem ordinary and as most resonant and becoming the greatest strength, connecting and inspiring others. We're not ordinary. Each of us are extraordinary, right? That's the key to understand. So the comparison trap, social media illusion, the ordinary. You think you're ordinary. You're not ordinary, right? You logged into this Zoom with your unique email address. That's not what makes you unique. You're the only one that has that email address, right? That email address and password gives you access to all of the content that you have. It doesn't make you ordinary, right? And just that is less ordinary than you are, as special as you are. So that's so important to understand this myth. And then the silent cycle. We think that, well, if we don't talk about it, and then if I do talk about it, then all of a sudden I'm bragging, and then you wind up going into this silent cycle. All right. So we're going to talk about that, how to break free, what to do, what's the psychology, why does my story feel invisible, right? We'll go over content information like that. The hidden cost of comparison. Is this resonating yet? Are you really starting to feel that, man, I didn't know. I guess if I understood my story, if I truly understood the value of my story, I'd be willing to share it more often, right? There's personal isolation, there's devalued growth, there's leadership paralysis. All of these things we're going to talk about that keep you from moving yourself into the next level. right? Chapter 1, chapter 2, why your stories matters, the science and the soul of storytelling, right? The neurologically proven and emotional essential for forming foundational human connections, right? We'll talk about that, the psychology of it. The stories that shape beliefs and inspire action, the emotional engagement, the empathy creation, and the vulnerability invitation, right? Part of this comes from Joseph Campbell's hero's journey as well, inviting people to join you on your own hero's journey. There's a public narrative framework that we'll be discussing. This is from Harvard professor on the revolutionary approach of the self story, the story of us, and the story of now. What would happen if all of a sudden you had all of that information? What would happen if all of a sudden you became familiar with the story of self, us, and now? Right? We're going to be going into detail in that. The interconnected power of narrative, being the one who narrates your story. Magic occurs when personal stories meet shared values and urgent action. Right? Most of the people you're talking to want a business. They want a solution. When they come to us, when they come to you, there's typically a sense of urgency involved, right? They're behind on their payments. They're behind on their health. Their relationship is suffering. The challenge is there's not this interconnectedness of narrative, of being able to describe that. So we'll talk about that as well. Chapter 3, overcoming. What was that? Overcoming the fear of vulnerability, the paralyzing fear of vulnerability, often mistaken for weakness. We think that our vulnerability is weakness. It's not. Why sharing feels scary, the fear factor, the strength and vulnerability. Right, we'll be talking about that. Again, this is just a quick overview to give you kind of a teaser. Somebody says, well, what's the event about? Real Voices, Real Impact, right? Talk about how these people, how Simone changed everything in her world, what she did to speak up, right? Simone Biles. Chapter 4, crafting your story, forming from ordinary to inspirational. So you're well to walk away with a story crafted for yourself, right? We're going to talk about that. What else are we going to do? The 4 pillars of a compelling story. Should I uncover these real quick for you? The 4 pillars of a story, right? The framework. There's people, places, purpose, and plot. Did you know that? Of course you did. You've got a story. You've already got your story. We'll talk to you about that. We'll go into more detail in that. Identifying, inciting incidents, embrace your characters, and then choose intentionally, right? These are the things that are going to help create your story. The journey from challenge to inspiration, right? We've all got that. We'll talk about that in detail. Chapter 5. This is about a 90-minute, probably with a half hour of Q&A. Living your story and inspiring others, right? We'll talk about that. A story of beacon of hope. When people get around you, you give them hope. If you feel that you struggle, you give them hope. Now, if you stay struggling, they lose their hope. People come around you. People nudge up to you, nosy up to you. They want to be around you because you're somebody who can give them hope about their future. If your story, it's the comp plan, let me put it this way. The comp plan your company has does not give people hope. It's the story they tell about the comp plan. Your products, life-saving, life-changing, don't give them hope. It's the story you tell about the products that give them hope, that move them into purchasing the product. You follow me? Your international event that they can go to doesn't give them hope. The story you tell them about the invitation, about the convention, gives them hope. The story about the next trip they could take doesn't give them hope. It's the story you tell about the next vacation that gives them hope. You are required, like it or not, to become a beacon of hope for your prospect. The challenge is that we tell our story hopelessly and we give hopeless, transformational stories to others. The reason they don't buy from you is they don't know your story, and the story they make up, because you're not giving them the correct story. So they make up a story about you, about your company, about your product, is you give them hopelessness. You've got to decide, are you willing to change the way you look at things so you can be somebody that brings hope to those around you, right? Illuminating possibility, building community, catalyzing transformation. See, people are afraid to get around you because they're going to change. And everybody knows that change brings you back to the same place you started, right? Just like the seasons, they may change the environment. You're still living in the same place. The world may change around you. You're still the same. You need transformation. You need moving from a place with 4 seasons to living on the beach where it's 80 degrees every day, all day long. Living at the top of a mountain where it's snowing all day long so that you can ski and sled and do those things. See, the changes in your life are not transforming the lives of others. And that's what people truly want, is they want transformation. They are sick and tired of change. Your call to action: begin living and sharing your story. Stop comparing, embracing vulnerability, inspire authenticity, right? Your story matters. If I am not for myself, who will I be for? If I am only for myself, what am I? And if not now, when? Right? The world needs your story. Live boldly, share openly, inspire endlessly. What if at the end of the workshop you felt you could absolutely do that? That'd be a good thing. That's what we're going to have. So if you want to learn more, SeanGMurphy.com/your story. And that's the conversation I've got for you this morning. So questions, comments, thoughts on that? Because today was just a little teaser on understanding what Saturday's workshop is about. Any questions on that before I stop the YouTube?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Good morning, Sean.
Good morning, Silka.
Is this the same workshop that you had us sign up for in the WhatsApp group?
Yeah, that's the same workshop. Yep.
Because it says October 29th. And you saying this Saturday. So I'm a little,
I probably had the date wrong. October 27th.
but it's only September.
Oh no, there's another one. That's a different workshop.
Oh,
Workshop. Yeah, that's the DMP. That's the 5-day challenge of the DMP.
no, but it said storytelling.
Oh, then I must have put the dates in wrong. Yep, it's this Saturday.
Oh, okay. So you have me a little confused.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, because I put it on the calendar when I signed up this morning. I could have sworn I could have maybe read it wrong, but
Okay. I might have done it wrong. Yep. It's September. Yeah, I probably did October. September 27th.
you
days.
wanted to really move along this
Yes.
month.
Yep.
So how long should the story be?
It depends upon the situation. You could have a 15-second story, a 30-second story, a 60-second story, and a 5-minute story. Depends upon the situation.
Oh, so it's not one fits all.
No, the content inside the story is the exact same. You just have different versions of it. You've got the elevator version. You've got you're in the Uber version. You've got the you're stuck on the plane next to somebody version.
Yes. Okay. I get that. So,
Yep.
all right. So what is your 1 second one for you?
You'll hear it on Saturday.
Okay. All right. All right. Well,
My 15-second one is, what do? I help people who are struggling, who truly have made a decision, finally raised their hand, made a decision, said enough is enough, and they want more of what they want and less of what they don't.
That sounds very good.
Yeah.
Very simple.
It allows you to translate what it is that's important to you, rather than me giving you definitions, identities. Because what happens is when you tell your story, people should ask you the strategy of the way that story gets performed. If they're not asking you strategy, they have made a complete assumption about you, about your story, about what you do, how you do it, when you do it. If they say, oh, that's interesting, they have made up a complete story around who you are, what you are, why you are, when you are, for what reason you are. And I can promise you it's not your true story. But
So
we tell
do they,
everybody, we give everybody identities, we give everybody titles, we give everybody things, we give everybody structure of what we do. And once they have the structure, they build the scaffold. And 9 times out of 10, people resist wanting anything you have. So they come up with a story that says they don't need anything you got. A simple solution is, oh, it's one of those things. That's a story they made up. They heard what you do and they instantly have the story available. Oh, it's one of those things. I don't have any money. That's a story they tell based upon the story you told them they're going to listen to. If somebody says, I don't have money, the only thing they could have heard, the only thing that played in their mind is, oh, this is a story about me spending money and losing it.
yeah, that's exactly what they must think.
Yep.
That gets me back to, I don't know if you read what I sent you yesterday, that the guy sent to us, wanting us to pay for him for his package because he wanted us to have skin in the game to support him. I mean, I have never heard anything that crazy.
Oh, yeah. People are like that. So then the question back is, okay, so we get you skin in the game. How do we get our return on investment?
Oh, he says as soon as he makes that money, he's gonna pay us back.
Oh, I know, but how? Tell me how. He doesn't understand the program. I've had people say that all the time. Well, why don't you, if it's so good and you make money off of me, why don't you get me into the game? I'd love to. I would hire you as an employee. How many hours do you have committed to be able to commit to the program? If I'm going to sponsor you, I want to know when I get my return back. So let's put the plan in place. I got no problem with that. You want to be an employee? Outstanding. That's the story. See, he had a story that took you off your game. When you have your story, when you absolutely rock solid have your story, none of those things matter. That's a great, listen, the good news is he's thinking, okay, because if you pay for him to get started, he still can't get any benefit. He's still going to have to pay something. He's got to either go on a trip, he's got to use his social capital, right, to talk to people. You spending $400 to give him an ID number doesn't do him a damn bit of good. Doesn't. So I'd be happy to spend it, but I'll own the position, and then when he's out, I can put it in somebody else's name in it. It's not a bad idea. It's a bad idea if you don't know how you're going to get paid back. So that's part of the story. His story is, you help me get started and I'll go. Awesome. Show me your performance record. Show me where other people have sponsored you in opportunities where you've proven for them, and I'll do it all day long. I'll do it all day long.
But neither one of us wants to pay for him.
Well, you don't want to pay for him because, listen, do you have any money in any kind of an investment anywhere? That's what the same thing. You hope that Apple pays you dividends. You hope that Google pays you dividends. You hope that whatever you have invested in, right? Crypto, you hope the Bitcoin keeps going up. You hope Ethereum keeps going up. It's that at that point, it's not a sponsorship, it's an investment. And I want to know what my return on investment could be. I know there's a risk always in gambling. That sounds like a risky bet, a risky deal, because he didn't give you any proof of what he's going to do. Listen, I know, well, I'll have 100% skin in the game. You got to show me how I get my 100% return back. That's all. That shuts that down. You want me to invest in you? Outstanding. Show me my return on investment. Well, doesn't sound like a good investment. Anything else before I go? It's all having a story. Because you're still telling a story about it. You'll tell less story about, we had some guy want us to buy his stuff because he said he wanted us to have skin in the game. You're going to be telling a story.
He wanted us to buy him, literally,
Yeah.
I think.
Sure. I'm okay with that. That's a great story he's got. Awesome story. Show me how it ends. Right? Imagine if everybody said to you their story, their situation. I got no money. Cool. Tell me how that story ends. I'm not feeling well. I've got this thing. I've got this disease. I've got this condition. Tell me how your story ends. Do you end happy, healthy, living on a beach, or do you end in suffering and challenge in a hospital bed with your family around you, wishing they had one more day? Tell me how your story ends.
Well, no one knows how their story ends.
If you've got the condition, right? If you're not wanting to get well, tell me how your story ends. You know, you don't take any of the trips that you want in life because you don't have time, you don't have money. Tell me how your story ends. You're on your deathbed. Are you wishing that you worked harder at work or you took the trip with your family? Tell me how your story ends.
That's amazing.
And that's why story is so valuable. See, when you have your story, you have a story, you have a version of the story of how you see your story ending. Right?
Yes.
So if we don't have a story, if we don't have our story locked down, rock solid, then nobody sees how our story is going to end. They can't put any vision into where they think we're going. Because if we're not going someplace they would want to go, they don't get started. That's the power of your story.
So he basically thinks that he's not going to be able to do it. That's why he wants us to pay for it.
Well, but he also he's been around a little bit. He's got some chutzpah, and I'm okay with him asking that because that says, okay, you believe that you're worth investing in, right? Your story says I'm worth investing in. I can get you a return. Yeah, good. Show me your experience of giving positive returns in a business model like this. Just
he's told us that in the last business he was in, he brought in 75 people personally.
Awesome. In a month or in 2 months?
Or maybe in a year. I don't know. He didn't say
you didn't, but you didn't ask. That's why you weren't interested in the investment because it threw you off when somebody says, well, you pay for me and I'll pay you all back.
Well, that was way after he told us he told us he was gonna start, and then suddenly he sent us that message.
Oh, well, yes, of course he did. So he wasn't going to start before, right? That's the story. Yeah, I'm ready to get started. Hey, listen, I want you guys to have skin in the game. Okay, that's an interesting request. So my response would be great. Skin in the game, pay back, and 20% on all of your commissions. Outstanding. We'll have you as an employee, and our payback will be a continuous 20% on all your commissions. When do you want to get started? We keep letting them off the hook, and they think they're pushing us back because they got a better story. You guys were texting and you got this story, this imagination.
No, we actually spoke to him.
I know, but then you said he sent a message.
Yes.
Yeah, well, the second message was a different story. That's why it threw you off, because you didn't set the story clear in the first version. That's all. That's the power of story. We can go back to every reason why nobody does business with us because of the story. It ain't because of the facts. Because if the facts were enough, all of our facts are enough. You get discount travel, you travel, it makes sense to save money. AJ said he saved $150 on something he did. I mean, he said, this is awesome. It works. It works. 100% it works. So the facts say it works. It's the story that keeps people from not working it. It doesn't matter what the business is. Wellness, health and nutritionals. It's all about the story. Period. End of story.
That's very interesting. I'm glad I didn't answer him because my answer was gonna be we not going to be
So then
pay.
what's the story he gets to tell? Oh, they don't believe in their business. I know that's not what you're saying.
No, I
That's
mean,
the story he gets to tell. It's all about telling stories. And if we don't help control their story, if we don't guide them and give them the story they want to tell, outstanding. Hey, listen, we talked it over. If you can give us a return on investment in 90 days on the initial, we can talk about getting started. When would you have that plan ready?
what if he says I'm gonna start right now?
Show me the plan. Show me the plan. Don't no this none of this goes forward without a written documentation from him. Show me the plan. Now, I don't go on words. If I'm going to invest, I need to see a syllabus. I need to see some prospectus. I need to see some documentation. If I'm going to put money into you, show me your return. How many hours a day are you going to work?
But he can all say that he's gonna do it, and then
But he won't even put in the effort. Won't even put in the effort. That's what I'm saying. It's just a story. If he all of a sudden starts to put in the effort and put in the conversation, great. Introduce me to 7 people. They'll go into your spot and we'll get started so that we can pay this thing back in a day. We can help get you started today.
Wow, you're so amazing.
It's all about the story. It's not facts. I don't know anything about your business. I know people and I know how to tell stories. And that's what you're going to learn this Saturday. You're going to take away some skills. It's taken me 40 years, but you're going to take away some skills.
So now I'm going to say exactly that to him, what you just told me.
Awesome. What did I tell you?
You told me that, oh my God. I sometimes wonder what's wrong with my brain.
No, it's nothing. There's nothing wrong with your brain because it's not used to telling stories. You hear mine, it goes, oh my God, that makes so much sense. I can do that. And then when you have to repeat it, you're like, I don't remember what he said. And
yeah, that's why I usually try to write it down exactly.
And then you make up a new story and you're like, well, I sent him this. I go, that's not what I said. Well, yeah, that's what I heard. That's not what I said.
Okay, can you say it again? And is this going to be recorded so I can?
Yeah, this is on YouTube still. So you can go to the last part of this section on YouTube and just listen to this part. Yes, this is recorded. It's on YouTube. So what I would say to him is, hey, listen, we're willing to get you started. We would like a 60-day plan for repayment. And then we'll do 20% commission on top of all future earnings. If you want us to invest in the beginning of this, because we really like some big returns.
That's going to shut him down.
It may inspire him, but either way, you get to control. Right now, he controls the story. And the reason we suffer in life is somebody else is telling our story. Somebody else controls our story. Somebody controls our poverty. Somebody controls our success. Somebody controls our weight. Somebody controls our relationships. Somebody controls our height. Somebody controls our hair color. It's all out of our control till we start telling our story. We call it a DMP, a definite major purpose. We could call it a DMS, a definite major story. We don't have definite major stories. What's your vision? And if you're not clear, you're going to write that phrase that comes back. If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. That's what happens. You fell for this guy's BS story belief system, BS story of, well, you invest. I you know what? If you believe in your stuff, invest in me. Awesome. Great. Show me your return. Show me your work plan. Show me your business plan for the next 30 days. And I'll put $10,000 into you because I'm going to get my money back. If you want to be an investment, I know how to make investments work. I also know how to make business partners work. I also know how to make entrepreneurs work. You want the lowest level of being an investment? Outstanding. I'll treat you like an investment. Show me your plan. Give me the names of the 100 people you're going to contact, how fast you're going to contact them. I'll be a part of those conversations to make sure I ensure my investment wins. And let's go have 100 conversations. When do you want to get started? If you want me to invest, you're probably ready to get started today, aren't you? Let's go make 50 calls. Let's see what the return is on 50 calls. I'll invest 50 calls into you at no fee to you. I get 15 grand an hour to teach, coach, and train. Well, that's what my keynote speeches are. So I'll invest 5 grand, 2 hours into you. That's what I charge for a take control of your situation is 5 grand with CEOs. 5 grand, 2 hours. I'll invest that into you. You show me that you're worth a $400 investment from me. Why would I invest 500? Because I'm good at what I do. I need to see if you're good at what you do. You ready? Let's call. Who we calling first? Click. Hello. Hello. Where'd you hung up?
It's so bad. I mean, it sounds like so simple. That
It
is
is.
like what blows me away. No, it's for my brain. It apparently
But
is
you keep
not.
saying that. You've been saying that for a year every time I tell you, oh my God, I wish I could think like you. Why
Oh,
don't
it's
you
been a
start
year
saying,
already. I know. I can't even believe it's
why
been
don't
a
you
year.
say, I think like Sean? I have a brain that thinks is good or better than Sean's. I have a brain
Oh,
that thinks
that's a
is good
good
or better than
idea.
Sean's. Yeah. That's a good story, isn't it?
Yeah, why haven't you told me that before?
Because I've told you 100 times.
But
Stop saying
maybe
I don't have a brain like that.
so. I just haven't heard it.
Exactly, because you want to own your brain. I know it sounds like I'm being mean. You know I'm not, and you are strong enough to hear that.
No, I know
Reason-
you're not.
The reason that you can't hear it is because you wanted to own, I can't think like that. That's the story you want to own. That's the story all of us want to own. Whatever it is you think you can't do is a story you are telling yourself. And when you tell your story, that story is the fart that goes out with it, that people are like, I don't necessarily believe what they're saying.
That's a bonus right there.
And so, which is why I start off with, how can I be of service? You're going to tell me about your thing. No, what thing? And I'm truly curious what they think they're there for. I know why I'm there. I think I know why they're there, but that's the last time we will ever be close enough to an understanding. Soon as I start teaching, talking, telling, selling, they ain't there. They will never be in the same spot as me. So it's easier for me to get in the spot they're in. And that's by hearing the story they currently have. So how can I help you? How can I be of service? What are we doing here today? Guess what? They're going to tell me a story. Now I can work with their story. They can't work with mine. When they tell their story, I then say, hey, I got a story like that. We're more alike than we're different. Now they say, I need more. I want more. Get me started. I need to be around this. That's the power of story. I don't have any money. That's a story. I know you're lying. You know you're lying. That's a story you tell that I got no answer to. My answer is money for what? And they're like, oh, well, damn it. You just said that it's $400 to get started, $500 to get started. No, that's what it takes to start to use this business model to take care of your dreams. But I never said spend the money. You asked me how much it costs.
He never told us he had no money. He actually said
but this is a great news story, isn't it? You invest in me. I got no money. You invest in me and I'll give you your return back. Excellent. If I invest in you, it's like the mafia loan shark. You owe me 60% interest starting the day I invest in you. So you owe me $600 tomorrow, $1,000 on Wednesday. How long do you want this interest to this isn't dollar for dollar. You want me, it's 100% interest every day, but I'll get you started. You got the chutzpah to pay it back 100% interest every day. So you owe me $800 tomorrow. I'll invest in you. And your business can make that. This business can make hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. What's 100% on $400 for a week? How long is it going to take you? If it's going to take more than a week, then you're not really good at what you do.
Right. Yeah, because if somebody is really good, they can bring in a lot of people immediately,
But this
and
is
they can make a lot of money.
You've got to you have to control the story. That's all. You just lost control of the story
Yeah, he suddenly took over.
because his story was more powerful. So tell me more about that. You know the phrase I give you all when you don't understand somebody's story? Hey, tell me more about that. You guys didn't. You got all your feathers got ruffled and you're like, well, that's stupid. We're not doing that. Tell me more about it. You'll find out there's not a whole lot more to it.
Well, we never even answered him.
I know, that's my point, because your stories you didn't have a story strong enough to answer it. That's all. Nothing wrong with that. You now do have a story strong enough to answer that. Great. Tell me more about that.
So that's all you would say? Tell me more about that?
Sure. And you'll find out he
Instead
doesn't
of
answer.
telling him what you told me earlier?
You could either way. Either way. Hey, listen, we're willing to invest and you show me the return on investment. Either way, tell me more about that as a hang yourself easier kind of question. Tell me more about that. Interesting idea. Never heard that before. Tell me more about it. And you know what? You now use this story to learn for the next person in the next 5 years or 15 years or 20 years from now. It says, why don't you invest in me? 20 years ago, we had a guy do that. And we were willing to do it. He just never responded with the plan. Do you have a plan? You now have an easy answer for somebody who says that to you in the future.
Yes.
That's the power of understanding stories. They're always telling one and you're either buying or selling one. And you bought his story and it made you mad, frustrated, didn't even respond to it.
Well, I wanted to hear how you were going to respond to it. That's
I
why
know.
I sent you the message and I was waiting to hear back. So, because that's why I didn't respond to it, because my initial.
Oh, don't blame me for not responding to your guy. You didn't have a story. You're waiting on me.
No, my initial response would have been, what the hell is the matter with you?
Sure. And you know the phrase they say, you get more flies with honey than vinegar.
And I didn't ask Christy how she would respond to that.
So here's your default. When somebody gives you something that you need help with, until you can get the help, respond with, tell me more about that. That's a universal response that has them puts the ball back in their court right away. Listen, I want you guys to invest in me. If this is so good, invest in me. Great. Tell me more about that. So you're trying to think of what he's going to say when he hears that. I don't know what he's going to say. Probably won't even respond when I say, tell me more about that, because he knows he shut you down. When he finds out he didn't shut you down, you said, great, awesome. Tell me more about that. He's like, oh, now what do I do?
Yeah, I have to respond because I'm actually supposed to meet with this person in person tomorrow.
Okay, yeah. Say, listen, before we show up, tell me what that looks like, and so that we can set the appointment. And if we're meeting at the appointment, we'll go over the plan for the repayment. That's the only reason you would meet tomorrow, is to go over the plan for the repayment. Not for whether you're going to get them started or this, that, or the other. I need to see the plan in writing, Excel spreadsheet. I don't care what it is, but I need to see the plan for the return on investment. If you'll have that ready tomorrow, then great. We should sit down. I don't know if we're going to do it, but we'll sit down, take a look at the plan. Can you send it to me beforehand so I can review it? It's easy peasy.
Yes, it sounds easy. I'm going to have to, I can now, my brain is able to think like Sean G. Murphy's brain.
There you go.
Oh, I even got a smile out of you.
Love it.
I love it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Who else? Anyone else on story? Questions, comments? Really? No one? Story? Okay. So YouTube, there's a little insight of what the power of telling a story, controlling the story, owning the story, and